Okay people, this is himself and welcome to another King Tekken 7 guide. In this video we're going to look at setups and Oki for Tijuna Twister, and this is also going to include 2 cross-ups, so stick around for that. So for anyone unfamiliar with this move, the command is forward, half circle forward plus 2, and since this is similar to giant swing, you can use my secret input method. Now if you don't know what there is and you want to find out, then stick around to the end and I'll give you a link to the video I did. So Tijuna Twister comes out in 12 frames, so it's slower than giant swing, but you can still use the same kind of setups. The one that I'd go for is F plus 2. This is minus 11 on block, but people are afraid to punish it because you can delay the D1 and then launch them. It also tracks side steps. Because of that, they stay standing and that allows you to throw them. In contrast, on hit, you're at plus 2, so Tijuna Twister is almost uninterruptible. And if they do try to interrupt, then you've got stuff like 2-1 to help you out. Another setup I like is DB3. On hit, you're at plus 2 and you recover crouching, but you can still throw from there. To escape this, they can duck, but you can use while standing forward to counter that, and it's also uninterruptible. The danger though is that they can sidestep right to make it whiff, but to cover that, we can use while standing too. This is a safe tracking mid and it comes out in 14 frames, so it's not that slow either. After the throw lands, they end up face up, feet towards, but sadly nothing is guaranteed because they can stand up and block everything. But what we can do is use a 50-50 mix up. The first option is D3. This is front rolls, side roll right and people staying grounded. It's also fast enough to beat out both wake up kicks and the recovery kick. And to block it, people have to crouch. If that happens, you're only at minus 12, so most people will only get while standing 4. Their only other escape is the side roll left. The second option is F3. This covers that side roll left and it hits front rolls. It also hits crouches, wake up kicks and the recovery kick, and in all these cases you can go straight into DDT. It's also safe on block at minus 8. Sadly, the move whiffs against side roll right and female characters staying down, but it does hit bigs here and some male characters as well, so all in all, a pretty good option. But there are some other options that we can use if we get a hard read. The first one is Frankensteiner. This connects against standers and back rollers and it's also unbreakable, so you get 30 damage. It also crushes the low wake up kick and the recovery kick, and it hits grounded as well. But it whiffs against side rolls and front rolls and the mid kick can beat it. Next option is power clothesline. Now this can be ducked and interrupted, but it's good against people who just stand up or back roll. And since they land face down feet away, they can't tech roll, so you can apply some Oki as well. Now I've already done a video covering that in more detail, so if you want to see it, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Next option, hop knee. Now this can be blocked by standers and back rollers, but it's perfect against wake up kicks, and if it connects, you can do 60 damage easy. Fourth option is ground throws, and these are specifically for people who side roll or stay grounded. Against the former, you'll get either the head bomber or the figure 4, but against the latter, you'll get the flip over. From there, you can go for either a guaranteed people's elbow or another ground throw attempt. And if you have rage, then blue bomb is guaranteed. So from there, you can do almost 100 damage. The last 2 options I have for you are both cross-ups, and they only work against back rollers. The first is sidestep left 3 plus 4, and this is one that Margin showed ages ago. Basically what happens is that the kick hits even if they're blocking, and the reason for this is that the hitbox makes it land at an angle which is behind them. But that's not all, because this doesn't just work with Tijuna Twister, it also works with Shining Wizard and Death Cradle as well. And for Death Cradle, this is a big deal because the throw does 110 damage and the boomerang kick does 50, so if it lands, you've pretty much won the round. If you have rage though, then it's mission accomplished. Now before I show you the other cross up, I want to mention that I've already done videos covering setups and Oki for both of these throws, so if you want to see them, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. But back to this video. Boomerang kick will hit back rollers because of its weird hitbox, but an alternative is rolling elbow. For some reason this ends up going past the opponent, but it still hits them in the back, and since you have an extension you can end up doing similar damage to the kick. But there's more. Boomerang kick is a high, so it can be ducked, but rolling elbow is a mid, so they can't. And on top of that, if they block it, you end up at +2. So from there, you can go for another Tijuna Twister and repeat the process. Now before I go into the last section, I want to mention that I've already done a video looking at rolling elbow in more detail, and this includes a wacky unblockable setup. So if you want to see it, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. But back to Tijuna Twister. Putting all that stuff together, I think this is a good 2-throw to have. The damage is good, the Oki is good, and the command is not that difficult. And since you can do it out of crouch, there's a 3-way mix up with giant swing and rock bottom. But I think it's inferior to tombstone. When I did a video covering that throw, I found the Oki to be way better. And in contrast, you can kill someone using only 3 tombstones. With Tijuna Twister, it's not enough. So personally, that's the 2-throw I'd use. As always, I hope you guys learned something here. If you did, then give me a thumbs up. If you think I've missed something out or got something wrong, then say so in the comments. There's more King content to come, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and I'll see you guys in the future.